So creating that habit in which you can cultivate your mind, yourself, your resilience to keep going no matter what is essential.
There is something special inside you.
Welcome to GNG Podcast with your host, speaker, best-selling author, Chaz Jackson.
Yo, what's going on, kings and queens? It's your boy Chaz Jackson coming back to you once again, representing GNG, gift and a gift. Hey, I just want to take the time to tell each and every one of you, thank you for giving me your eyes and your ears once again. It's a great to dive deep into some inspiration that I pray will plant like a seed in your mind and assist you in becoming a greater version of yourself. So here on Gift and the Gift podcast, we constantly remind you that you are gifted differently to make a difference. And do you know why? Because greatness made you, therefore greatness is within you. And we have some greatness on the show today. My guy, King Stephen, and it is in the building, ready to shine his light. There's some short stuff on this guy. Giant in his world, been featured on NBC, CBS, speaker, coach, CEO of Salesforce, Catalyst, TEDx speaker to be exact as far as speakers. So speaking on some amazing platforms up to this point in 2023. And again, he's here on Gift and the Gift podcast. Are you ready to get it, King Stephen?
Let's do it, man. Let's rock and roll.
Hey, thank you so much for your time, your effort to pour into the GNG family. I know what I read off was short and sweet, but can you just go back on how did you get to where you are in 2023? Can you share your story with us?
Yeah, of course, with pleasure, Chaz. But Chaz, first of all, before I dive into my story, I think that I always make it a priority that when I given opportunities such as these, I first highlight to the listeners or to the viewers in this case that, look, taking time, putting together something like this, a platform that is there to inspire others to be more, live more, dream more. It's not a given and should never be taken for granted. Okay. Nowadays, we live in a world where selfish has become fashion. All right. Selfishness has become fashion. So when we have the people like Chaz that say, hey, listen, I'm taking a stand. I want to create a platform. I'm taking a position of leadership to create a platform that inspire others, regardless of their color, size, background, doesn't matter. But I just want to have a platform to inspire them. We've got to command people like Chaz. So Chaz, my brother, I just want to say respect to you. Thank you for what you do. It's really phenomenal. I love it. And you got to keep it rocking.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I received that.
All right, man. Thank you. Well, Chaz, my name is Stephen Dossou, and I'm originally from Togo, Togo. That's in West Africa, a small country north to the south, 600 kilometers, east to the west, 180 kilometers. So we're talking just about the size of Netherlands, you know, if you know your geography pretty well. And often enough, people confuse it to Tokyo. No, please look at the brother. All right, it's not Tokyo, it's Togo. You know, so I was born in Togo, 2-bedroom shack with 9 siblings. I mean, if anybody knows Togo, they will know that it's basically dusty road. So I mean, I know what it is to, you know, play barefoot and walk 15 miles to go to school and do that 4 times a day. I know what it is to share the floor with 4, 5 siblings, okay? Just one floor, trying to find space in there to sleep. And sometimes having cockroaches and mice coming to join you in the party. Basically, you fight in space with cockroaches and mice for you to sleep. I know what it is to have 1 meal a day or sometimes not a meal at all. Yet holding on to a dream, a vision that you have no evidence of that is going to come true. So even though I grew up in such dire situations, somewhere, somehow, and, you know, and people call this God, all right, and I call it the same. Somewhere, somehow, I just had this vision that if there's a one chance that I could be a little bit more than what my situations do me to be, because look, let me tell you something. I mean, I finished my high school at 15, 18, I was getting close to my degree. Now, when I did I looked into the future then, and I mean, look, we're talking about a country where the basic salary is up to $50 today. $50, sometimes even less. I'm not talking about $50 a day. I'm talking about $50 a month. All right, hear me well. so I'm like, listen, man, like, here I am, and I've got these dreams, and it's there in chance at all for me to make it out there. I was like, no, I want to throw myself into an environment that can enable me to do that. And back then, I tried US, didn't go through, visa denied. I tried Europe back then, denied. So I was like, okay, where is the next destination? Which environment, which country could I go to that is close enough to making my dreams come true? And that was South Africa that I chose. And I mean, leaving my home with the backpack, less than $150 in my pocket. And I talk about this, that look, one of the most important things, one of the most important currency that I left with, it wasn't dollar, it wasn't euro, it wasn't safer, no, but it was faith. You know what I'm saying? So less than $150 in my pocket, yeah, a backpack with one jean in it and few t-shirt, and faith as my biggest currency. So for 18 months, I went from one side of the continent to the next, and my family thought basically I was dead. Okay, so they started writing me off, And let me tell you something, Chaz, that this journey that I'm talking about is a journey that, to a great extent, people ask me, hey, would you do that again? I'm like, oh, I wouldn't do that. But you know what? I'm grateful for it because it has contributed a lot to who I am. Because listen, on that journey, days came where I slept on the street for many days. We're not talking about 1 day or two. Days came where 2-3 days you have no food, no water, nobody to go to call your home. Days came where you cry tears by yourself and wonder what I did is the right call that I've made. Well, at a certain point, I was sleeping in a shack of $20, and you know what? I couldn't even afford one of those shacks that mice, mice will come and eat your food and bully you on top. They'll be like, "Come on, you broke. What are you gonna do?" You have those supersonic mice that will come and they'll bully you on top. You're like, "Hey, what are you gonna do? We know you broke." So I'll go from that shack and go to the street corner every day and hustle. Now, let me tell you something to the listeners and to the viewers, that whatever point you are in your life, whatever you're going through, how you do anything is how you are going to do everything. And don't forget, somebody is watching. I was there in my street corner and somebody came to me and said, "Hey, Steve, listen, I look at you, I've been seeing you for a while now, and I know times are not great. But you come here, smiling and excited, enthusiastic, wanting to make a life for yourself. Look, tomorrow morning, come through to Massmart. So Massmart is a division of Walmart in South Africa. They come there. I might have a job for you. Well, you might have a job for me. Okay, all right." So I went to see a friend pastor of mine because I didn't have anything to wear. He gave me a brand new shirt, a brand new trouser, and I wore them as if they were mine. I rocked up to the interview. The interviewer saw me just like this, and she was like, "Oh, Steve, you got the job." I got the job. What's the job? The job is to sell vacuum cleaners. Vacuum cleaners?
Oh.
Okay, now just listen to me, right? By then I was about 19, 20 going, but I had never touched or seen a vacuum cleaner in my life. Yes, because back home, we never used one. Vacuum cleaners back home were made, only rich folks bought it. Okay, and here I am. I have to sell that stuff to make a living. I said, all right, come on, throw it at me. I'm ready for it. So I got given a sales script, went home, studied it, came back the following day, and I'll be doing, "Hi, ma'am, how are you? If you can give me a moment of your time, I want to tell you why buying this vacuum cleaner is going to make your husband love you more. Hi, sir, how are you doing today? If you can give me a minute of your time, I want to tell you why investing in this vacuum cleaner is going to make all your mistresses and your husband and your wife marry you twice." Okay. And I'll do that, very excited, enthusiastic every day for 3 years, nonstop, 7 days a week, 10 to 15 hours every single day. Now, Benjamin Disraeli has a quote that he says that luck is when preparedness meets opportunity. I will work during the day, sell vacuum cleaners, and by night, I will take leadership and coaching courses, psychology, all those things to get myself ready. And one day, I got a call. from the head office and say, hey, listen, man, we just love what you do. I mean, your sales are phenomenal. We want to give you a team. Okay, what are you talking about? Are we talking about a team of 2, 3 people? No, we're gonna give you a team of 60 people. All right, and you're gonna become an area man. I was like, really? Okay, great. Throw it at me. Let's go. And 6 months later, they said, look, man, your consistency, it's really great. The magic you're doing with our numbers is fantastic. Let's give you a team of 200 people and you're going to be accounting for sales of $20 million a year. I was like, the Lord is able. Come on, let's go. Well, I worked at the corporate. I left the corporate, I think about after reaching the top of it, about a year or two in, I left it. I went to start my own company, exporting and importing hair product. And Chaz, 1 year into business, everything failed. Literally everything failed and took everything I had worked for at that point. And that includes the house, the cars, and the girl I was engaged to. I was back to zero.
Wow.
And I talk about this in my TEDx talk that, folks should go on YouTube and check it out. And I say that, the title of my talk is The Upside of Losing Momentum. And I say that whenever we find ourselves having lost the momentum or losing it, there's always an opportunity to give birth to someone new or to create something new if we ask ourselves the right question. And those right questions are, who am I, where am I from, and where am I going? And so I asked myself those questions. I was like, you know what? One thing that have got me this far is my ability to motivate my team. What have got me this far is my ability to be resilient, consistent, focused, and disciplined. You know what? I'm going to build the career out of this. And I left South Africa, then I went to Asia. And that's been five years and a half ago. I mean, now I live in Europe now, traveling and speaking all over the world. But then if you ask me how I got to where I am today, being a speaker, having written 4 books thus far, I mean, spoken in more than 15 countries, look, having done some crazy, awesome partnerships. If you ask me how I've gotten here, I would tell you something, in very few words, that the journey has started more than 13 years ago. I would tell you that the journey has started a while ago. I would tell you that if you are committed to your dreams and your life purpose, that nothing can ever stop you.
Wow, that's so powerful, and it leads me to this question. You're unpacking it, and you're heading in that direction. So I'm eager to share this with you and get your definition, King Stephen, on what does success mean to you? What is your definition of success? If you had to share one.
Yes, Chaz. Thank you for the question, Chaz. I know we're in a world nowadays where, thanks to social media, success is now bound to what's the biggest car we drive. It's not bound to what's the hottest girl we lay in bed with. I mean, success is now bound to all materialistic things. But one of the definitions of success that I've come across in my journey, actually, they are similar. It's just one say it in a very different way, and they are about Earl Nightingale and James William. Earl Nightingale defines success as the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, I-D-E-A-L. Right. James William defines success as the relentless pursuit of an inner ideal and the outer achievement related to that ideal. In other words, listen, are we talking about, these 2 people that are some of the most influential people out there in the self-development world. They've done remarkable jobs. And these 2 people are defining success as when you find your life purpose and you find yourself every single day waking up, taking one step at a time, doing just that. That is what success means. Let me tell you something. So I have a coachee. She's a CEO, one of these major companies in the Netherlands. She's in her late 50s now. And, she contacted me on LinkedIn. She said, man, listen, I want to talk to you. I read through your stuff, watch your videos. I want to talk to you. I said, yeah, let's talk. And one of the things that she said on the talk, she said, listen, Steve, I've been in corporate for more than 23 years now. I've made money. I have money. Yeah, but nothing that I've done in this corporate world is fulfilling to me. I'm now in a phase of 53 years old where I have now found my gift, my life purpose, and doing just that makes me fulfilled, gives me the feeling of fulfillment. So success, basically for me, is about finding that which you were created for, finding your why, and taking concrete steps every single day, doing just that. Then we're talking about a man or a woman that is successful.
Man, whoever's listening to us right now is getting hotter than fish grease in here. I mean, my man he's on fire. He's sharing some amazing value. Hopefully you got a pen and paper and it's been taking down some amazing notes. But if you didn't, it's okay. Pause this bad boy. Wherever you're looking at video, audio, go grab pen and paper, rewind it back, because King Stephen is laying out some amazing value here. Some great application points, if you will. And guys, thank you so much for blessing this audience. And I also want to encourage the audience, if you haven't already, once you listen to the rest of this episode or right now, hit that share button. Get this out in front of as many people to take in and equip themselves to impact and influence other people, sharpen others as they're striving to grow towards their greatest version of themselves. Because I believe what's being shared right now is definitely needed to be heard. And King Stephen, this show, as I mentioned before, is striving behind the whole concept of providing tips and techniques for young men as they strive to grow in personal development and leadership. So I know you talk a lot about in your talks about, self-doubt, low self-esteem, if you will.
Yeah.
There's a parent listening to us right now. There's a coach that's influencing and impacting a young man the best way possible to help them get to where they need to get to as far as what they're called towards. Is there a tip or technique that you can provide them to help that young man learn how to live and achieve things free of fear, if you will? Does that make sense? Is there something that you can...
100%, Chaz. Chaz, in my book, Be Transformed, How to Live Free of Fear, Self-Doubt, and Low Self-Esteem, I basically have a 7-week program out there that can enable anybody, and I mean anybody, okay, from the person on the street all the way to Elon Musk, anybody, to uncover their fears and their doubt and their low self-esteem, neutralize it. Okay. Now, I think before I even talk about how you can do that, I think it's very important that we shed the light as to, what is the impact of these 3 demons? I call them the 3 toughest demons of mankind. Because you see, anything we go through in life, anything, and it can be in your business, in your personal life, anything, any experience we go through always lead to 2 paths. A path where we gain greater confidence in our ability or ourselves. On a path where we experience the effect of these 3 toughest demons of mankind: fear, self-doubt, and low self-esteem. The African proverb says, that enemies outside can do us no harm if there are no enemies within. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, let me tell you something right now. Let's imagine, right? Let's talk about some superheroes, for example. I don't know about you, but I'm a Marvel fan. Okay, I mean, Wakanda forever. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Right. And why do we relate ourselves to superheroes so much? And because these are folks that depict no fear. These are people that shows and experience no fear in the actions that they are taking. But here's the truth: that being human, courage is not the absence of fear, but it's being able to take on the things that you fear the most and overcome them. Like Roosevelt says, that there's nothing to fear but fear itself. So the reason why I highlight this, that's very important, is because we now live in a world where anxiety, low self-esteem, and self-doubt is now overshadowing the power of dream. It's overshadowing the power to live. It's overshadowing the power to believe and achieve. I mean, there's a book I've read. There's a book I've read. It's by Douglas. Frederick Douglass. He says that yes, slaves have been freed, but they were taught how to survive and not to live. So many of us there, Many of us that we become slaves of our routines. We become slaves of our social media. We become slaves of the image of what other people think of us. Therefore, we are trapped in a system where we do not live anymore. We do not wake up to pursue our dreams and goals. We don't wake up with that fire and say, hey, today I'm going to make a difference today. Hey, today I am the best Stephen. Today I am the best Joe. Hey, today I am the greatest Berlin that you've ever met. And I'm going to do what it takes for me to get close to my dreams and goals. No, we are trapped in a social media world that's consistently eating away our low self-esteem, eating away our confidence in making decisions. So when we are trapped in fear, self-doubt, and low self-esteem, what we basically do is we substitute the power to dream and create by death. And you know, and I'm saying death because many people die at 25 and get buried truly when they die at 65. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Do you know what I'm saying? So the question is that how can you overcome these three toughest demons? How can you basically subdue these demons and live a life in which you can find the courage, the certainty, the clarity of mind to make the decisions that count, that is needed to embrace life to the fullest and take every step with courage and inner strength, so that your life can be meaningful, so that your life can be purposeful, so that you can live a life that inspires others to be more, dream more, live more. How do you do that? Now, here's the thing, Chaz. You know, I mean, I've done a lot of profound work in psychology, and when people work with me one-on-one, we use some very fancy techniques in NLP and stuff, you know. But when I'm on platform like this, I make it a mission to give the people something that, you know, they can stand up right now and go and do and start seeing change in their lives. You know, so how do you overcome anxiety? How do you recondition from a place of low self-esteem or a place of confidence? Let me tell you something. For the past 13 years, Chaz, every single day I have a routine. Okay, I mean, you know, I'm gonna give away something golden right now. I'm gonna give away something billions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? So yes, for the past 13 years, I have a routine, and every morning, as soon as I wake up, okay, I mean, as soon as my eyes are open, I go and I do 100 push-ups, 70 sit-ups. Why do I do that? Because I throw myself in a little challenge right there and there to condition my mind to learn how to be strong. Now, I'm talking about 100 push-ups, but I didn't start with 100 push-ups. All right. I started with 5. Right. So if you can start with 5, every week at 2, at 3, at 4. Now, that's not all. That's the first thing I do. Secondly, what I do is, and this depends on everybody's belief, I pray. Okay, I call on the Creator to say, thank you, man, for waking me up again this morning, and I'm ready to fight this again, that you, my shepherd, the 1,000 will fall on my left and 10,000 on my right, nothing shall come near me. Some people can just meditate, all right, and visualize themselves, whatever image that, you know, they want to achieve, they want to pursue. You have to visualize and see that for yourself. And then the third that is very important is listening to something positive, listening to the words. And so for me, I mean, for the past 13 years, I've made it a habit that I listen to the words of Og Mandino. Today I begin a new life. Today I shed my old skin, which has too long suffered the bruises of failure and the wounds of mediocrity. Today I am born anew, and my birthplace is a vineyard where there's fruit for all. Today I will walk tall among men, they will know me not, for today I am a new man with a new life. You get what I'm saying? I've been listening, you know. I love it. I've been listening to the words of Erda Antigua. We are all self-made, but only the successful ones will admit it. I've been listening to the words of Franklin Roosevelt, that there's nothing to fear but fear itself. I've been listening to the words of Dr. Miles Monroe. The greatest tragedy of life is not death, but it's to live a life without a purpose. Come on, somebody come hold me up. You know, I'm getting fired up right there. You know what I'm saying? So why do I listen to that? I listen to that so that I can remind myself in the midst of the challenges of life. I can remind myself in the midst of the Instagram filters. I can remind myself in the midst of people not believing in me to bring my dreams and goals to life. I can remind myself in the midst of all the books I've read, yet I'm not seeing the evidence of those books in my life. I can remind myself that the only thing standing between me and my greatness is me. Do you get what I'm saying? So when you create a habit like that, I mean, like Ogmanino says that, we create that. Sorry, he says that we do not decide of our future. We create habits, and habits create our future. Do you get what I'm saying? So I mean, you creating that routine has made me forge an iron resilience. Do you get what I'm saying? Basically, I've created a shield that whenever fear comes in, whenever something fearful comes in, I say, come on, give it to me. Let me have that for lunch. You know, when the low self-esteem come talking, let me tell you something, Chaz. When I wanted to dive into speaking and coaching, I mean, I had folks call me and say, hey, Stephen, listen, let me tell you something. And I mean, I like to talk about this. It may sound rough, but it's just the truth. I had people call me and say, hey, Steve, listen, don't go in that field. It's a white folk dominated field. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, like, first of all, you're African. Who's going to listen to what you got to say? Right. And you see, those are dream killers. That is self-doubt. That is, because in this case, the low self-esteem and self-doubt. Exactly. Right. So creating that habit in which you can cultivate your mind, yourself, your resilience to keep going no matter what is essential.
Wow.
There you have it.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm about to stand up in this room and run through a wall after hearing that. So powerful. And I know you mentioned Dr. Miles Monroe, phenomenal mentor, God rest his soul. Amazing individual. And I love a quote that he has to say about vision. He says, vision is the source and hope of life. You know, the greatest gift given to mankind is not the gift of sight, but the gift of vision. Sight is a function of your eyes, but vision is a function of your heart. The reason I say that, King Stephen, is because what you've given us today is insight of your vision. What makes your heart beat? What makes your heart pound? And I'm actually getting coaches. It's crazy because, like, you're just radiating off of the screen, and I'm sure whoever's listening to you is like, God, this guy, he's the it factor. He got it down. He knows what it looks like to overcome that fear, that self-doubt, that low self-esteem. And again, I'm inspired. Whoever's listening is inspired. And I want to challenge whoever's listening right now. These tips and techniques, these applications points that's been laid out here today, I challenge you to take the daily challenge and implement one of them. Share with us what you're going to take, and we're here to help. We're here to help you strive to become a greater version of yourselves. And I know there's someone's listening right now that's like, I want to get more in front of what this giant has going on moving forward in 2023 and beyond. Can you share your contact information with the audience as well, in case someone wants to reach out to you? And again, this is seek your help.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think that the best thing to do, it's quite simply, just go on Google, and type my name out, Stephen Dossou, and everything will come up. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, my website. Shoot me an email, like, info@stephendossou.com. Just go on Google, type my full name, and everything will come up. And use your most preferred method to reach out to me, and let's have a chat.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, King Stephen, for diving deep with the GNG audience and shining your light on how to become a stronger version of yourselves. And this has been such a treat. Learned so much. I've definitely taken a lot of notes down, and I'm going back and listening to this bad boy again to grasp and soak in some of the gems and the value that's been sharing today. So just wanted to share with you and give my gratitude and thanks once again for coming on the episode today.
Thank you so much, Chaz. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I'm gonna lead us out. I told each and every one of you this is going to be a phenomenal episode. I know you wasn't disappointed. I also want to share again for you, encourage you, share this episode out with people around you, people that you're having an opportunity to lead. add value to in your community, in your workplace, in your environment that you're called to echo your greatness in. And I want you to stay up with GNG Podcast. More episodes coming soon. As always, family, if you made it to this point, I want you to humbly and gratefully do these two things for me. Keep the crown on your heart. And please remember this, implement this, be inspired by this. We are God's echo. Keep echoing your greatness, family. Peace.
Thank you for listening to G&G Podcast. Remember, you are gifted differently to make a difference. Please visit ChazJacksonSpeaks.org and let's continue to grow together. God bless.